What's up, guys? This is Tabletop Vibes. Steven, what are we looking at today?
We are talking about Rewild, South America by Triceratops Games.
This game is a blast. You're essentially rewilding the area in front of you by building biomes in different areas. Mm-hmm. Grasslands, shrublands, rainforest,
wetlands, tall trees.
Yeah, get in tall trees. We'll get into that, but that was like one of my favorite things about this game.
For sure.
In this game, everybody takes their own player board in front of them. There is a market board, I guess you can say, where there is animals that you can draft, animals, insects, and then there's a predator portion, which is super fun. And then there is a plant portion where you can draft different plants. On your turn, you have 7 action cards that you're going to be playing out on your turn, one at a time. It goes around, and play out another one. And then you also have a recall card, which then picks up all of those actions back into your hand. So it's kind of like a tableau builder drafting kind of a game.
Yeah. So the resources that you can spend when you're looking to build these biomes are you can spend minerals, you can spend water, and you can spend seeds. And all of the commerce that you do is built around those 3 main resources.
And on top of it, the art in the game is fantastic. It's so beautiful, which will show up on the screen. There's a ton of different animals that you can draft, because essentially what you're doing is every single animal, insect, has a different birds as well in there, has a different biome that they want to be at, and then how many like hexes they need to fill in that set biome for you to attract them into your biome. So you can get like the capybara. It wants to go into the grasslands. It has 3 pips on it, so you need to have 3 hexes to then have your capybara come into there. You can attract as many animals as you can fill spots. They have these little paw tokens, which then signify that your location and the hexes that you're at in your biome have been occupied. They're no longer unoccupied. So if my capybara needed 3 spots, you fill those in, you attract it into your tableau, and then you can do
the predators. So the predators come along, and when you draft a predator into your deck, they have to be able to eat a certain kind of prey. So your prey already has to be living there, but then you can draft a predator in if the biome and the prey matches up. And so you'll be able to have a predator, and the predator eats the prey.
Yeah.
As
Cue
part
the
of the
circle
food
of life.
Exactly. So you get bonus points, though. In each of the different biomes, you can get bonus points for biodiversity.
Right.
So if you have predators, if you have prey, if you have insects, and you have plants, once you draft all of those different cards into each of the 3 different main sections, you get 6 victory points in the normal play.
It's huge. You really want to do that. So you can make up to a possible 18 points if you can draft the right cards, time it, eat those different other animals with your predators, get the right plants in your biome. So it's really cool because you're honestly making an ecosystem. Yeah. And that ecosystem is functioning. There's the land, you till the land. The animal comes in, the predator eats the animal, the plants regrow, points get made. The really cool other thing is with the birds and monkeys, you have the rainforest where you can grow trees, spend a water to then grow your tree, and then you can attract certain animals that want to be higher up in the high treetop areas, which then these little meeples sit in on top of the trees.
Yeah, this was where the game went from good to great.
Right, we were both like, what?
The meeples fit perfectly in the treetops, and the extra bonus for gameplay is that if you have an animal up in the treetop, then you can also have an animal on the rainforest floor. So you can kind of double up on what goes on that rainforest
as long as you don't eat that set animal before.
That's true. But the rainforest hex, since it's only 1, it's super valuable. You want to be really choosy.
It's also expensive.
That tall tree also means that you can have 2 animals there, which really just doubles up on the productivity.
And like, it's not needed to have it sit in the tree, but when it does sit in the tree and you get your first one and you see it on the board, which we'll show you up on the screen, it is just like,
it's a little bit of magic.
Right. Yeah, it's just like sitting there. I'm like, hey, my osprey is sitting in its tree. And right? So it's like a lot of fun. You're just drafting a bunch of different cool animals. Again, the art is fantastic. So what the end game trigger is of this game is you have 8 animals in your biome. They also do a solo mode, which is very awesome that you can then play this solo. And then they also have an expert mode, which adds a little bit more flavor, adds new cards, and then now you have to get 9 visible animals in your biome. So it kind of adds another layer, which adds more cards, more replayability, and it plays 4 players. I will say the first game that we played, it took a little bit longer because everyone's trying to see, you're trying to learn iconography. As you know those things more and you get more familiar with what you're trying to look for, it speeds it up some, but it is kind of like one of those more crunchy games.
Yeah, because even if you have a thought of what you're going to do on your turn, one of your opponents might take the card that you thought that you were going to want to take, and it totally changes your whole strategy. Plus, you might be having in your head, okay, I'm going to spend this, I'm going to buy a shrubland, but then guess what? You don't have enough minerals to do it. So, you know, you want to make sure.
And if, just so we're being transparent, Steven won
by a point.
A freaking point. And it literally came down to me building a shrubland in an area on my board. So the player boards are double-sided. They have and give different bonuses. So when you cover those areas with biome that you're building, you can get water, you can get minerals, you can get victory points based on the biome that you're building, shrubs, grassland, rainforest. You're making X number of points, right?
Exactly.
I needed a point. And I couldn't afford it.
Couldn't do it.
Because that's the thing is, right, you're playing these different action cards out of your hand to either build biomes, discard cards from the different biome market areas, which is really fun because that's a big thing in this game is the variability to be able to switch out and go through cards is helpful.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that's really stagnant, which I really like. So it refills at the end of your turn. If you play a card, it drops off the rightmost and slides down from the left to right. And so there's just a lot of variability. But you also get bonuses on where you play. So you're trying to strategize on where you're playing. You get discounts off of the same biome being next to each other.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
And then you can upgrade biome, which I think you really liked a lot.
Yeah.
And you utilized way more than I did. So.
Yeah. Yeah. You can spend a water and either turn a grassland into a wetland, or you can spend a water and add a tall tree to a rainforest. So it's just a really great all-around game. A lot of great different mechanics that you can do. Good balance of points that you can get instantaneously, victory points versus endgame scoring. So there's really, you can play and strategize with it in any number of different ways.
And they also have like the tag system. So at the end of the game, you're like, for however many of these on the board that I have in my tableau, how many resources I have, I'm scoring off of different things. So you're essentially planning your own scoring conditions, but like you're trying to put those pieces in and move it around so that they all kind of synergize together. And again, it's like playing like you're a biome that's running harmoniously.
Yeah. It was fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah. So this is coming to Kickstarter May 13th, which is super soon. We're super excited. Like, subscribe, and comment on your favorite animal. Make sure you check out the Kickstarter. We're Tabletop Vibes, and we'll check you next time. Thanks for watching.